Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in today's video, I decided let's discuss the podcasts that have changed my life and act like a friend, especially when I'm feeling alone, sad, depressed. I want to hang out with someone, but I'm not really keen to go out. Like the podcasts that have really helped me in such a positive way, I want to share it with you guys.
She does what she wants and she looks cool doing it.
So the first one would of course be Call Her Daddy. So if you aren't familiar with the podcast, where have you been? Like, come on. It's such an awesome podcast, especially for women. I find it very empowering. I find it very relatable. It's so interesting to listen to conversations about relationships, boys, exes, like just any experience that we as women go through. It's so nice and relatable to listen to those experiences and to get really good advice at the same time. So I really love that podcast so much. So I find it very freeing and empowering. It feels like you're like chilling with like a friend and you're having like a really good convo and you're getting some good advice. Like, I love it. And one of my favorite episodes from that podcast was the one with Kelsey Ballerini. Like, I love that episode. And it was literally titled Loving Yourself Enough to Start Over, which I find so beautiful and so poetic and so relatable. Okay, so the next one has to be the Cancelled podcast with Tana Mojo and Brooke Schofield. Those are my two girls. Like, I love them so much. I love watching that podcast. Like, it feels like you're chilling with your two best friends and you're talking about boys, you're having a good time. You're just speaking about like things that we as girls speak about with our girlfriends. Like, it's so relatable and it just makes me feel so happy. It's like, okay, cool. I'm not the only one going through that. Like, thank you for that great piece of advice. I really appreciate it. And I just love how open they are about sex, about their relationships, about any bad experiences that they've gone through, because it's a way to connect with other people. It's a way to really, resonate with other people and to help other people. So I love their podcast. And sometimes when you are going through like a breakup or a friendship breakup, or just any type of situation in life, I feel like it's so nice to be able to listen to a story and connect with it and kind of figure out how that person got through it and maybe how you can get through it. So it's all about just being honest and authentic. And that is just what the whole podcast is about, which I absolutely love. And of course, some of the stories are absolutely crazy and controversial, but it's still real at the same time. And what more can you even want? Okay, the next one is Anything Goes by Emma Chamberlain. So I don't listen to this podcast all the time, but when I do, I actually really enjoy it. Like, I've always loved Emma Chamberlain. Like, I've loved her videos, and it is like you're hanging out with like your best friend. And I feel like I can resonate with her on so many things, and that's kind of the effect she has on like a lot of people, which is so amazing. And I feel like her content is very relatable. It's like about a normal type of girl experiencing these things. It makes you feel less alone. It also gives you some really great advice on how to navigate situations with a more open mind. So I love listening to her perspective on things because it's very similar to mine. And sometimes, like they say, it's easy to give someone advice but not even listen to your own advice. And I feel like if she's giving that advice and I'm already thinking that advice, I will take it, if you get what I mean. So I just really enjoy listening to Emma. She has such a calming, soothing voice. I love her personality and she's just so relatable and so authentic. So of course, the next one is my podcast, which is the Chill Out podcast with Kelly Ward. And I love this podcast because it's so much fun creating it. It's basically all about giving you the space to be, the best version of yourself and kind of taking your negative experiences, finding perspective and wisdom in it, and actually propelling you forward using those experiences. So there's always something positive in a negative situation. It's all about how you choose to look at things. So I love speaking about topics that are relating to my life, where I'm sharing stories about experiences that I've been through that will hopefully help you. I love talking about topics that I'm curious about learning about. and kind of asking those types of questions, getting some feedback from the audience and creating an episode about that. So it's all about mental health. It's all about life. It's all about perspective. It's all about just becoming the best version of you and having real conversations that are honest, that gives you some really good advice, and that is relatable. It's a normal type girl type thing that I'm going through. So, check it out every Wednesday. And one of the last ones is, I listen to so many. Okay, these are just a few that I can pinpoint right now that I listen to on a daily basis. I listen to so many. I love, hearing people's perspectives and finding something that resonates with me and makes me happy. But I do love listening to Jay Shetty's podcast as well. Some of them are really good. I don't really resonate with all of the guests, but you're not always going to, and that's okay. But I love his podcast because it's coming from a more Zen approach, which is something that I love so much. And I love his advice. I love his perspective on life. And some of the guests that they have on there, it's really relatable. And it's really cool to kind of hear their stories of, self-acceptance and building their self-esteem and overcoming obstacles and just learning about life through those experiences. And he gives some great stories and some great advice. And I just love that podcast too. And I just love anything that's going to be empowering, that's going to be positive, and that's going to make me feel good. And that's also going to teach me something. So these are all of the podcasts that I really enjoy on a daily basis. So yeah, what do you think? So I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video about me sharing my favorite podcasts that have changed my life and that make me happy on a daily basis. So definitely feel free to leave your favorite podcast in the description below. Don't forget to check out my podcast every Wednesday, anywhere you listen to your podcast. And I love hanging out with you. So don't forget to like, comment, share, and also subscribe. And I will see you guys soon. So peace.
Basically, live your life.